Good morning, my friends. Welcome to another vlog. Today we're focused on 2004, which was exactly 20 years ago. Something fun about 2004 is I was in 9th grade. Let's not talk about the fact that 9th grade was 20 years ago, but Liam, my child, is also in 9th grade. So I just feel like that's kind of fun. Speaking of Liam, I just dropped him off and a friend at school, well, at the arena, because they have hockey first thing. And I was thinking I would go for a bike ride while they're there, because then in like 2 hours I have to pick them. Well, I don't have to, but I want to pick up Liam's gear, and then I can also like drive them to lunch. So I'm gonna do a 2-hour bike ride, I guess. And what's better to do on a bike ride than listen to an audiobook? I'll talk about what I've read from 2004 in a minute, because I think I have a list at home. I have done another video featuring 2004, but it was about me in 2004, the things that I was reading, not necessarily what was published. Oh, this is part of a series where I'm trying to read a 5-star from every year I've been alive. That's what's happening. So 2 things that I've been considering are these 2. They're big books. This is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark. And this is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. Both of these have adaptations, which I think could be fun to watch if I love either of them. I liked Piranesi by this author, and everyone says that that is much better than this. I give that 4 stars though. So like maybe I'm kind of the opposite opinion that this one is better, because this is some people's like favorite thing. It's just rare. Do I know what it's about? Not really. Cloud Atlas, do I know what it's about? Not really. It was on the New York Times list of 100 best books so far of the century. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. So that has piqued my interest, as well as people just telling me that I'll like this. Oh, is that to the video game? Oh no, that's like the pitch of the book. As wild as a video game, immensely readable, as mysterious as a Zen koan, more unforgettable than anything else you will read this year. Where is the synopsis though? Oh, it's not here. It doesn't exist. It just expects you to know. But, wait. There's something else. There's something else we need to talk about. Somebody commented saying, this book is not a 2004 release, but like technically it is, because the translation came out in 2004. And that's The Shadow of the Wind. This I actually have to read this month, or by the end of the year, because I picked it out of my members TBR jar, and bestie Erin recommended it. This is equally long, so my options all seem very intimidating. And I also don't know that any of these are the right vibe to be reading. I'm sorry, a man just ran by me. To be reading on like a casual, chill morning bike ride. Look at the view though. How stunning. I'm gonna bike along here and it's gonna be great. I'll probably have to circle the lake twice to hit 2 hours, but I also don't want to go on the bumpy part. There's like a paved part and a gravel part, because I have been sitting a lot like during the weekend, because Liam had a hockey game and it was 2 hours away, so there's 4 hours in the vehicle. And then I didn't sit during the hockey game, but I did for the one the day before. So just like a lot of sitting. My back kind of hurts, so I don't know if a bike ride is even a good idea or if I should walk. But I'm gonna stop blabbering and just get on with it. I guess there is a chance that I get this in one, and because I have to read The Shadow of the Wind anyway, I'll just start here and like maybe this looks terrible on me. It was honestly like the best helmet at the time when I picked this up. It was like the best helmet on my head, but now like I don't think it is. Anyway, no one gives a shit what I look like, so let's go. Oh, I also got this new little water bottle for my bike. Hey, I said I was gonna stop blabbering. Okay, first impressions, 50 pages in. I like it a lot. I love the writing. It's about a young boy, almost 11, and his father takes him into the cemetery of forgotten books. It's 1945 in Barcelona, and he gets to pick out any book he wants, and he's not allowed to tell anybody else about this library. And he picks out this book called The Shadow of the Wind, and then he ends up asking his father about it and asking this other bookseller about it, and that's like the only copy that's ever existed. And there's somebody going around buying other books by this author and like getting rid of them, erasing them from existence. And so this is the only copy of The Shadow of the Wind that exists. And while he's there, he meets the guy's niece, Clara, I can't remember how it said it. And she is blind, and he is going to come and read her sections of this book because it's her favorite author, but she can't really get her hands on many of his titles. And that's how everything kicked off. I find myself wanting to highlight things, so maybe this isn't the perfect audiobook read. I already feel like I was just sitting here. I parked by the beach so I could update you and just sit here and maybe read a little bit physically, because I was just skimming through trying to find the passages I really liked and it was hard to find them. So maybe I want to read this physically. So I was thinking, should I grab a different book? Or I might just watch some people's videos. I just finished Magnolia Parks and I can't stop thinking about it, and I want to watch other people's reviews. I know my friend Katie Colston has one, and I want to like watch full spoilers and people's opinions. So I think I might build myself a little playlist and just listen to them all on my bike ride as if it's like a podcast. But first, I'm going to sit here for maybe 20 minutes and read some of this with my eyes. So there's this guy slash the devil, slash maybe a guy from, like a character from the book, The Shadow of the Wind, who is the one going around trying to get all the copies of this author's books and burning them all. And so he goes to Daniel and he like threatens him and scares him and threatens Clara and stuff. And I feel like there's a better way to try to get the book from him besides telling him you're going to burn it. Because if you know that this kid is so close to this book and loves it so much that he would never give it up, like why not trick him into like giving it up for a different reason? Like tell him you're going to use it for something else, or tell him you're going to give it back, or I don't know, just try to trick him instead of being like, all of these books have to be burnt, you better give it to me. Like maybe try a different negotiation tactic. I don't know. You know what year we're talking about today?
Nope.
2004. What were you doing in 2004?
Starting high school.
Oh. I was getting my period.
I was not.
What were you reading?
Probably like a McDonald's menu.
The 2004 books that I've read are Gilead, Away Laughing on a Fast Camel, Chicken Soup for the Soul, The Glass Castle, and Love, Rosie. All of those I gave a 4 or below. This is just a quick intermission to do a book haul, because when else am I going to do a book haul? I forgot I was a bookfluencer. Is that what we're called?
Me? I'm not. You might be.
And I already took one thing out. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? It's Daisy Hates. It came so quickly.
Drake is almost here to deliver my pizza. Do you think it's the Drake?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I bet it is. How much longer are you going to stand there?
2 minutes.
Okay. So I got Daisy Hates in the mail. I don't know when I'm going to be reading it, but everyone's been telling me I'm going to like it. And then in this, there's supposed to be 2 things in here. Oh, this isn't... Wait, this isn't the package I thought it was. I got an email saying my package had arrived, and then I clicked the link and it was a different package than this. Huh, okay. So this is Never Have I Ever by Isabel Yap, which I ordered because it was a members book club selection for me. And I'm gonna read this in November. This is not what I want.
This is not what I planned.
And I just gotta say, I do not understand. Something is really wrong. Now it says tracking information is unavailable. Item rerouted due to processing error. Possible delay. Wow. Okay, well, I'll have to show you my other package tomorrow, I guess. I have no update on my book. I haven't really read much. I've been doing other things, but I will get back to it. Hello, it's the next day. Apologies for this sound and that musical intermission, because that was just for Rob, not for you, but I'm watching it back. When I find something equally embarrassing as it is funny, gotta keep it in. Here is the package I was expecting from yesterday. What is that? I absolutely did not order that. What is happening? Okay, I don't have very many Indigo orders. Oh my god, I'm so annoyed. I only have a few leftover pre-orders from a long time ago when I was using like a really stacked coupon code for them. I almost exclusively shop at my local indie now. But this pre-order, like this is, I saw this. Is this also like the book of the month color? I thought that's so ugly. And also I only want the original black cover because I want it to match the original. I don't like special editions. Well, first of all, I don't buy special editions very often anyway, but I don't like them when all they do is change the color to something that doesn't match the rest of the series. Like, what was the point? Let me confirm which one I bought. Yeah, no, I ordered the black edition. I'm confused. Like, do they maybe not sell the black one? They only sell this one? And so since I pre-ordered it, it changed? I do not understand. Anyway, here's the package I wanted to show you. I will be returning that. And then they also shipped it with this one, The Night Guest. This is the Literally Dead, one of the 3 Literally Dead book club picks for the month of October. Very excited to be reading this. Very pretty, very pink. Anyway, here's how far I've gotten into The Shadow of the Wind. This whole chunk happened this morning. I've been up since 5 because Liam has hockey practice in the mornings before school now. So it was the first early morning wake up and I did not enjoy it. But I stopped myself at the halfway point yesterday because I don't know, I was getting in my head too much, and this happens with all of these episodes. This is constantly happening to me where I feel like this is going to be a 5 and then I get caught up in like, how can it, like, am I just trying to pull the trigger too quickly? Does this feel like an authentic 5? Is it actually a 5? Like, let me focus so much harder. Like, is it a 5? Is it a 5? And I do that so much that I actually feel like I'm focusing less on the actual story and I'm focused on my own feelings. And that's not something that I do with like any other books, but I question myself so much and I need to remind myself that, I think I talked about this in one of the first episodes, but like, it makes sense that one of the first or the first book that I read in an episode is going to be a 5 because I'm reading things that are critically acclaimed. They are beloved. They've stood the test of time. They're being recommended. That is why I'm reading them in the first place. But it just seems like so weird every time I pick up a book and it's so good. And my normal reading, like, this is not my ratio. For this series, it's like every 3rd book that I read is a 5-star. If that was the ratio I got in my regular reading, I would have nothing to complain about ever. At this point, I have read like 160 books maybe, and I've had 25 5-stars. No, actually, I think I've read more like 180 books. I haven't updated. I've been trying to catch up with my Goodreads, but I don't want to log anything without a review that I've given a 1 or a 5 because I just want to have more things to say about the books that I have extreme feelings about. And because I haven't made time to write those, my actual numbers on Goodreads are so off. And for that, I also haven't updated my Instagram bio in a while because I used to put the number, I have the number of books. Like it says currently reading the phone book because I don't want to update what I'm currently reading because I feel like if I go to edit my bio, I also need to change how many books that I've completed and that number's wrong and I don't actually know what that number is. I could probably figure it out really quickly, but instead I turn on cameras and I talk to you and I read books. It says 172, but I don't think I've updated that in like a month. Speaking of it saying I'm currently reading the phone book, I got this email and it seems like from a reputable, a business with a good reputation, who makes like leather bound, like custom books. And then I think with like influencers and then they can sell them to their audience. And they sent me one, like a sponsor opportunity. They were like, we want to leather bound your favorite book, the phone book. Are you interested? I was like, did you go to my Instagram profile, think that that was me listing my favorite book and then didn't second guess it? Like this must be a robot thing that just sends emails to like everybody and anybody. But the fact that there's nobody to double check that like they thought, well, I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna say, yeah, send me a leather bound version of the phone book. Go ahead, let's see what happens. I more often than not put my currently reading as something silly. I'll put it as like my emails or my taxes. It's been the phone book for a couple months now. Okay, but let's focus. The Shadow of the Wind. This is not what I thought it would be. Not that I knew a lot going into it, but the fact that it's about the cemetery of forgotten books. I thought the story was going to be about that. I thought that whole situation was the plot, and this kid discovering this specific book it was all gonna be like people chasing after him, trying to kill him, like trying to get their hands on this book. And that was the whole premise. And it was like this fantastical urban fantasy kind of vibe. That is not what it is. Like, yes, him finding this book and the mystery around this author is what's driving the plot and like the reason why he's meeting all the people that he's meeting. But we've been following him through his life. I think he's currently 18, and it's just his like relationships, the people that he's interested in, and then people in the author's life and getting to know all of them and their stories and their situations. And it's just more of like, especially now at the 70% mark, there was a murder, and it just feels like a crime novel. We're following these detectives as well, and a lot of like police corruption, and I'm having a great time. It's just not what I thought. My favorite character, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Furman is an icon and is carrying like this whole book. There was one line that I tabbed. Side note, I hate the tab color. I have completely run out of tabs. All I have left are these little blue ones, and it just does not match the vibe of this. So I need to go out and buy some more. Daniel said, you think I'm not, they're having a conversation. You think I'm not aware of that? You don't seem to know me, Fairman. And Fairman says, my dear, if God had wished to give me wider hips, I might even have given birth to you. That's how well I know you. He's just a real character. He was a beggar, and him and his father kind of took him in, and he works for the bookshop now, and they just like noticed something in someone, gave someone an opportunity when nobody else would. And now there are certain things revolving around him that are very interesting. But all of his silly little quips and the way that he wants Daniel, like he's trying to live his life through Daniel, but then he also has his own relationships and things going on. I'm just having a great time following this. I love all of the relationships. I would say I was having a hard time not following, but like knowing who I was supposed to care about, because there were a lot of characters introduced, and I just didn't know if I needed to like remember all of them, if all of their storylines mattered. I was waiting to like know who was important enough for me to pay attention to, I guess. So some things may have been lost upon me in that middle third, but I'm excited to see how everything turns out. And it does feel like a 5. Like this is incredibly written. And I just think it's interesting that last episode, I was trying so hard to get it in 1. I wanted a 5-star. I wanted to read 1 book, and it failed me. And this time, I mean, it is the book that people have been telling me since the beginning of my channel that if I read this, I was gonna love it. It's gonna be one of my favorite books of all time. But it's interesting that now it's happening for me. Or is it? I'll let you know in 150 more pages. I don't know that I've done a great job so far setting the scene of 2004. So let me do that for you really quick. First of all, Facebook was invented. Life-changing for all of our mothers. Friends ended in 2004 after its final season, after like a decade. I know I was watching that with my mom, crying over the finale. What started this year though was Lost and Desperate Housewives, which we swiftly transitioned to recover from the loss of Friends. I never finished either of those shows, but I did watch them for a while. The Nintendo DS was released. Athens, Greece hosted the Summer Olympics. The Boston Red Sox won the World Series, their first championship since 1918. Big deal for one of you, I'm sure. The last known Hawaiian black-faced honey creeper died, making them extinct. Can you believe it? Bird names are crazy. Bird scientists will just say like black-faced honey creeper, or yellow-bellied sapsucker, or tufted titmouse, just with a straight face. Just act like it's normal. The biggest film of the year was Shrek 2. Motorola launched the Razr. You know I got the pink one. iPod minis were invented. Ashley Simpson was caught lip syncing on SNL. That I feel like would not be as big of a deal 20 years later. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake, the controversy at the Super Bowl, which again I feel like wouldn't be as big of a controversy current day. And that moment apparently coined the term wardrobe malfunction. That was the first time that phrase was ever used. Beyonce that year won 5 Grammys for her debut solo album. The Swan aired, another TV show. Oh my God, if you grew up watching The Swan like I did, you are entitled to financial compensation. That was crazy. If you don't know, it was like a competition show where girls like were competing for plastic surgery. It was really an insane year for movies. The Notebook and Mean Girls, like the duality of Rachel McAdams, insane. Napoleon Dynamite, equally impressive, I think. We got Shaun of the Dead, one of my personal favorites. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I am embarrassed to say I still have not watched. I'm just waiting for the right moment because everyone tells me I'm gonna love it. Saw? Oh my god, Saw came out? The Girl Next Door, one of my personal favorites. If you haven't seen this, classic 2000s rom-com. We got Euro Trip, which I would not recommend watching, but it was good at its time. 50 First Dates, that will always mean so much to me. Liam and Rob are currently in an Adam Sandler marathon, and as soon as they watch that one, I will partake. The rest of them, not for me. 13 going on 30. Oh my gosh, an all-time favorite. Seriously, go look at the list. Oh my god, Garden State. Go look at the list of things that came out this year and tell me it wasn't the most iconic year for film. And that's all I have for you. We're wrapping it up. Yes, indeed, that means I gave The Shadow of the Wind 5 stars. I feel like this will disappoint a few people because I didn't even get to try out the other ones. Maybe I'll read the first couple chapters in the coming weeks and like maybe there'll be a surprise review in my wrap up, but this was absolutely 5 stars. It, like I said, wasn't exactly what I expected, but it turned out to be great because it was just such a complex, interesting dynamic between all of these people, and the way that Daniel and Julian Carex, the author, the way that their lives like mirrored each other and referenced each other was just a really interesting thing that happened. I expected there to be a certain reveal with some things, but it turned out to be a different kind of reveal that I've seen a lot of people say they saw coming. I didn't, so I was thoroughly impressed with that. The only thing I didn't love reading, but I can't fault the book in it, is the misogyny, the sexist kind of look at women because we're through the eyes of certain male characters, you know, a 12-year-old boy in the 50s, and the way that he viewed women and the way that the book kind of boiled down these female characters into very basic parts. I just feel as though Daniel is not a stereotypical likable character. He's very self-involved. He is lying to people. He doesn't see much error in his ways, especially like the way he's treating women or what he's expecting from them. There are many great tender moments. His father was a shining star. The character I spoke about before, Fairman. There was great friendship dialogue. There was much tragedy and hardship. There was intense like romantic entanglements, devastating moments. And it was just really interesting to see how all of these characters' lives intertwined and getting the reveal of what was happening with this author, what had happened to him, who was burning these books. It was a ride that I very much enjoyed. 80% of it because of the writing. It's what some people might consider overwritten, very descriptive. He's not just gonna use one adjective in every sentence, he's gonna use 3. Oh, and by he, I guess I also mean Lucia Graves. Shout out to her because it's just fabulous. It's a fabulous translation. Not that I've read the Spanish version, but it was in no way obvious to have been a translation, and I had a great time with it. Thank you to everybody who has been recommending this to me for literally 10 years, and I get to scratch it off my poster. There's actually some things on here I think I haven't scratched off yet because I just apparently don't keep up with it. Hold on, I need to find a dime. Okay, right at the top, we've got The Alchemist, which I read like a year ago. So that's my bad. Oh God, there's so many things I really need to read. Oh, there we go. The Shadow of the Wind. Can you see that? Oh, and The Princess Bride right here. That's 43 books. For somebody who's not actively trying to scratch anything off, I'm making some moves. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. There's only one episode left, and I'm gonna be reading a lot of books in that final episode. So, as always, I will show you some things to choose from. If there's anything that you see that I absolutely have to get to, let me know, and I will give it my best try. See you next time. Bye.